and we will have a short kirtan or short prayers by Gopi Mandala Mataji. Mataji, is it fine? Gopi Mandala Mataji, are you there?
Hi Krishna Prabhu, Dandat Pranam. Prabhu, I would like to request if anyone else want to do a short kirtan or
Yeah.
any bhajna or Hare Krishna, anything.
Would anyone
I
like to
know
do a short
today
kirtan?
devotees did a lot of kirtan. Another 5 minutes for Shila Gurudev's victory.
Yeah. Anyone would like to do some kirtan? Anandi
No,
Sakhi
it's
Mataji,
no
Shivani
one is
Mataji.
super happy after the super news.
Okay, no problem. We'll just start with prayers and then we can continue with the diary chapters and the realizations.
Sure. Prabhu.
Om Agyantimirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Indradumna Swaminiti Namane Namo Prabhupada Priyadasaya Jagannath Yatra Ananda Murtaye Bhakti Sukhaya Krishnot Narasimhen Rakshitaya Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminite Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gaurvani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarane जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे राम राम हरे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे राम राम हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे राम राम हरे So we would just start reading the diary chapter. And would anyone like to volunteer to read the diary chapter today?
Hare Krishna Panchana Prabhu, can I read?
Yes, Shivani Mataji and Jyotsna Mataji have volunteered. So, of course, we have many diary chapters today because we are just going to read diaries. So, maybe devotees can take turns and read the diary chapter. So, I guess you can see the diary chapter on the screen.
Yes, Prabhu.
And I will also share all the diary chapters on the troopers group so that devotees can refer the diary chapters and they can read it as we are doing the reading simultaneously. So over to you, Shivani Mataji.
Yes, Hare Krishna everyone. Volume 3, Chapter 38, under Lakshmi Narasimha's protection by Indradumit Swami, May 31 to June 3, 2001. Due to my busy schedule, my disciples have been worshiping my Lakshmi Narasimha deity for months. Here, while on tour, they have placed them on the altar in our temple room. When I do my private puja, I worship my shillas, but last night I had a dream. So I decided to bring their lordships back to my room. I hesitate to share this dream because Srila Prabhupada has warned that only very advanced devotees can take instructions from the Lord in dreams. One must be a very elevated devotee in order to be able to speak with the Supreme Lord. Sometimes the Lord informs the devotee through dreams. These exchanges between the deity and the devotee are not understandable by atheists, but actually the devotee enjoys them. However, in a letter to a young disciple, Srila Prabhupada states that the Lord may sometimes appear in dreams, even to one not so advanced, such as myself. So far, your dreams are concerned, it is very nice that you are thinking about Krishna consciousness even while sleeping. Krishna is so nice that we want to remember him even more than 24 hours daily. Lord Jagannath is very kind and he can also appear in mind in his own form. So why not in your dream? That understood here is my dream. I dreamt that I was standing my rounds in a small house in Vrindavan when a devotee excitedly approached me with a letter, not wanting to be distracted by something that was probably not urgent. I asked him who the letter was from. Smiling, he said, "It's from Lakshmi Narasimha." I immediately took the letter and gazed at beautiful Sanskrit light handwriting on the envelope. To Indradevan Swami. On the back, in the same ornate hand, was written, "From Lakshmi Narasimha." I thought, my gosh, my deities have written me a letter. With great care, I tried to open the envelope, but I could not. Bhakti Vringa Govinda Maharaj was with me then. He said, "You will have to take it to a sadhu who can help you." I walked into the Vrindavan forest. Several sadhus were sitting nearby, so I respectfully asked one of them to help me open the letter. He took the envelope soberly and easily opened it. I was less patient. "Your Holiness, what does it say?" "They want you to worship them." The devotees on the devo- the devotees on the tour are grateful that Lakshmi Narasimha protected them from serious injury the night our festival was attacked. They are also grateful to the many devotees around the world who responded to our plea for funds to hire the professional security team. We have already raised half the amount required to keep the security team with us until mid August, when Woodstock will signal the end of our summer festival season. Yesterday at Iona, yesterday at Inua, something it's written. I don't know what. I'm not able to read it. When I informed the tour devotees how help is. Oh, yesterday at an Istagoshti, when I informed the tour devotees how help is pouring in, one boy, his head still swathed in bandages, raised his hand and said with appreciation, "Now I know what Srila Prabhupada meant when he said, Your love for me will always, your love, your love for me will be tested by how you cooperate among yourselves." Yesterday, the biggest news paper in the region ran a front page article on the attack with a picture of the 12-year-old girl who was injured. In big bold letters, it said, "Disgrace," and described the incident as a religious intolerance. As a result, public response has been extremely favorable. Everywhere we go, people come forward to offer sympathy. Yesterday, during our Harinam in Lords, a motorcycle gang slowed down as they approached us on the road. I thought, oh no, here we go again. Suddenly, all the gang members simultaneously gave us thumbs up sign and yelled, "Bravo, bravo." Uh, Time has moved quickly over these last 10 days. It's been intense. As I sat chanting my rounds yesterday morning, I realized that despite my full time engagement in devotional service, I had not been remembering the Lord constantly. I fear far from the goal of being able to remember Krishna constantly. Uh, If even a moment's remembrance of Vasudeva is missed, that is the greatest loss, that is the greatest illusion, and that is the greatest anomaly. Vishnu Puran. I pray to come to the stage of being able to remember Krishna at every step in life, whether in happiness or distress. As if in response to this prayer, I received a message over the internet containing the poem of a young girl dying of cancer in a New York hospital. The essence of her poem is that we should, uh, yes, okay. The essence of her poem is that we should take time to be conscious of nice things around us and not be oblivious to them. Our lives are racing by, although her sentiments deal with the material world. I read into her poem my own desire to remember the Lord and become fully conscious of Him at every moment. Slow dance. Have you ever watched kids on a merry-go-round or listened to the rain slapping on the ground? Ever followed a butterfly's erratic flight or gazed at the sun into the fading night? You'd better slow down. Don't dance so fast. Time is short. The music won't last. Do you run through each day on the fly? When you ask, "How are you?" do you hear the reply? When the day is done, do you lie in your bed with the next 100 chores running through your head? You'd better slow down. Don't dance so fast. Time is short. The music won't last. Ever told you, child, we'll do it tomorrow, and in your haste not seen his sorrow? Ever lost touch? Let a good friendship die, 'cause you never had time to call and say hi. You'd better slow down. Don't dance so fast. Time is short, the music won't last. When you run so fast to go somewhere, you miss half the fun of getting there. When you worry and hurry through your day, it is like an unopened gift thrown away. Life is not a race. Do take it slower. Hear the music before the song is over. For devotees of the Lord, the music is contained in enlightening words of great saints like Shri Narottam Das Thakur. O Lord Hari, I have spent my life uselessly, although I have obtained a rare human birth. I have refused to worship Radha and Krishna, and in this way I have knowingly drunk poison. After discovering the girl's poem, I chanced upon my own notes from my stay in Vrindavan last Kartik. In those pages, I was appreciating the calm and peaceful atmosphere of the holy dham, so conducive to study and learning. There I wrote of Vrindavan's temple, sadhus, and sacred cows. How far away that all seems from the battlefield on which I now find myself. But I know that desiring to live in Vrindavan and preaching in terrible cities of Kalyuga are intricately connected. To attain eternal residence in Sri Vrindavan Dham, one has to receive the Lord's blessing. Preaching, as difficult and dangerous as it can be, is an important way to attain those blessings. Srila Prabhupada writes in his purport to Bhagavad Gita 11.55, there are many examples in history of devotees of the Lord who risked their life for the spreading of God consciousness. Why such risks? Because they wanted to spread Krishna consciousness, and it is difficult. Now we can imagine how merciful Krishna is to those who engaged in his service, risking everything for him. Therefore, it is certain that such persons must reach the supreme planet after leaving the body. Surely, despite all opposition, if we continue to preach, our budding desire to one day reside in Vrindavan will mature. And by Lord Chaitanya's mercy, we will gradually become qualified to enter the eternal abode. To the degree that we surrender to Lord Chaitanya's service, to that degree we acquire qualification for the service to Radharani's feet in Vrindavan. Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur.
Jai Ho. Thank you so much, Mataji, for reading that chapter so wonderfully. We will move on to the next chapter and then we will share the realizations in the last. Is that fine? Okay. Jai. Gopi Mandala Mataji could, or Debajit Prabhu, could you share the next chapter? It's from fourth diary, fourth chapter. Yeah, Jyotsna Mataji volunteered to read the chapter. Mataji, would you like to read now?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much,
जी,
Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
थैंक यू,
Pranam.
हरे कृष्णा।
So, volume 4, chapter 4, To Share the Mercy by Indradyumna Swami, November 5 to 24. Krishna is the focus for most Brijvasis, whether they are priests, sadhus, farmers, shopkeepers, members of a town council, or tourists. Krishna is somehow present in each of their lives. One morning, as I was performing Vrindavan Parikrama, a 2 hour walk around the entire village of Vrindavana, I saw pilgrims from all walks of life reverentially walking the Parikrama path. Most were Indian, but a number were foreigners from a variety of countries. Everyone seemed focused on the same goal, to receive Radha Krishna's mercy. If we practice Krishna consciousness, we can transcend material designations and become united on the spiritual platform, each of us questing for God. It seems a simple solution to today's world's problem. If we can only realize that we are all brothers and sisters with a common Father, God, we will stop seeing some people as a friends and other as a enemy. Here in Vrindavana, every living creature is viewed with that understanding and thus offered respect regardless of its birth. Krishna revealed this to me clearly when I was returning to my apartment after parikrama. I was walking past a telephone pole when a crow suddenly fell screaming to the ground in front of me. It had landed on a live wire and been electrocuted. Flapping, it was moving in agonized circles on the ground. Within moments, several local people ran forward to see. To my amazement, a man picked up the crow and wrapped it in his chadar, chanting Hare Krishna to the bird. The crow's eyes slowly closed, and I thought it had died. But the man told his son to fetch milk and a chapati. For more than an hour, he and the small group of Brijvasis carefully nudged the crow back towards the life. Finally, the crow opened its eyes, squawked, and flew into the air. There was a loud roar of appreciation from the small crowd as they called out, Jai Radhe, Jai Radhe. The compassion they had shown such a lowly creature astonished me. It confirmed that in Vrindavan, all creatures are accepted as the Lord's eternal servants. Continuing on my way, I remembered a classic verse from Bhagavad Gita. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavi Hastine Sunicheva Swapakecha Pandita Samadarshina. The humble sages, by virtue of true knowledge, see with equal vision a learned and a gentle Brahmana, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog eater, outcast. Bhagavad Gita 5.8. As I settled into my room to hear and chant, it occurred to me that Vrindavan is the perfect place to practice Krishna consciousness, if only because there is so much to stimulate remembrance of a Lord. Even a simple morning walk can reveal a spiritual truth. I am blessed to be here and content with my plan to spend 2 more months in this transcendental abode. But I would soon realize Prabhupada's statement. I have my plan. You have your plan. But ultimately, Krishna has his plan as well. Enlivened by yesterday's early morning parikrama, I invited several disciples to join me this morning. As we approached one of my favorite spots, Srila Prabodhan Saraswati Samadhi's Mandira near Kalia Ghat, Nandini Dasi, a cell phone rang. It is a curious thing that being situated between New Delhi and Agra, Vrindavan falls within cell phone range. It was the first time Nandini's phone had rung since she had been in India, and she seemed quite surprised as she took it out of her bag and answered it. Her answering service had left her a message. I saw her pale, Not wanting to upset the tranquility of Parikrama, however, she didn't say anything. All week, I have been making a special effort to take Nandini and Radha Sakhi Vrinda around Vrindavan. This is their first trip to India and they have earned it. Both women have worked hard helping to organize this year Polish tour. Setting up the Festival of India has a legal foundation and often achieving success in the face of tremendous opposition. I appreciate their determination to preach Krishna consciousness, and by inviting them to Vrindavana, I was hoping to introduce them to the essence of our spiritual tradition, thus giving them increased strength and inspiration in their preaching. This was the mood with which Srila Prabhupada invited his disciples to India in the movement's early days. He wanted us to gain appreciation for our spiritual heritage and then return to the West enlivened. Nandini and Radha Sakhi Vrinda seemed to be enjoying their first week in the Holy Dham and were looking forward to the month ahead when they would visit Jaipur, Puri, and Mayapur. I couldn't put Nandini ringing phones out of my mind. Finally, I drew her and Radha Sakhi Vrinda aside and asked who was on the phone. Nandini was silent for a moment, then said, Guru Deva, Radha Sakhi Vrinda and I have to return to Poland tomorrow. Stunned, I asked, Tomorrow? But you just got here. Why would you have to return tomorrow? Do you remember the school in Swezerno we've rent as our base during the summer tour? Yes, I was already beginning to feel nervous. Our longtime friend, the school director, left a message that the local priests are pressuring him to rent the school to them for the entire summer next year. They want to use it for recreation base for school groups from other parts of country. In reality, the director said their purpose is to deny our festival program a summer base. You know that school is the only one of the coast willing to cooperate with us. I did know. I still remembered the campaign a group of senior Catholic priests had led last year along the entire Baltic Sea coast, threatening and discouraging school directors from renting their institutions to our Festival of India tour. Nandini added, if we lose that school, where will we accommodate the 200 festival devotees? The message was sent 12 days ago, and the director said, we have until tomorrow to sign the contract. Otherwise, he will be forced to sign the school over to the church. No doubt they are thinking that by approaching the school director so many months before the holidays, they will outmaneuver us. Can someone else in Poland sign the contract? Legally, only Radha Sakhi Vrinda or I can sign. And who knows what other tricks the priest may have up their sleeves. We have to be there, Radha Sakhi Vrinda said. Because so few people were flying, Nandini and Radha Sakhi Vrinda had no trouble getting a flight to Warsaw. Late in the evening, the next day, they called from northern Poland. Mission accomplished. We got there just in time to sign the contract. We have the school for the summer. This is the meaning of a disciple. A disciple is one who will put the spiritual master's interest before his or her own. I am grateful that Nandini and Radha Sakhi Vrinda showed no hesitation in leaving India, but were willing to ensure that our preaching could continue next summer. In Krishna book, we read how Sandipani Muni was similarly pleased with the surrender of his two students, Krishna and Sudama, who demonstrated the proper behavior for disciples. After Krishna and Sudama had undergone hardships on his behalf, Sandipani Muni said, my dear boys, it is very wonderful that you have suffered so much trouble for me. Everyone likes to take care of his body as the first consideration. But you are so good and faithful to your Guru that without caring for bodily comforts, you have taken so much trouble for me. I am also glad to see that bona fide students like you will undergo any kind of trouble for the satisfaction of spiritual master. That is the way for a bona fide disciple to become free from his debt to the spiritual master. It is the duty of the disciple to dedicate his life to the service of the spiritual master. What I didn't expect was that, like Nandini and Radha Sakhi Vrinda, I too would have to cut my pilgrimage short. Toward the end of the telephone call, Nandini said, Gurudeva, we are sending you the financial projection for next year by email. With cost rising and increased government pressure that our festival meets strict security and health standards, we are going to need more money than we originally predicted. The next morning, I opened my email and read their report. I realized I had no choice but to surrender Krishna's plan that I leave Vrindavan before the end of Kartika. I was going to have to preach and raise funds for the Festival of India. As far as I know, there is only one reason to leave this transcendental abode, to preach Krishna consciousness. Although bhajana and preaching seem so different, bhajana means internal meditation in a solitary place, and preaching is so external and usually performed in the crowded towns and villages. They are nonetheless intricately connected. By focusing on bhajana, we become purified and thus develop a strong desire to share the nectar of Krishna consciousness with others. By preaching under difficult circumstances throughout the year, we hanker for the special atmosphere of Sri Vrindavan Dham, where we can relish the association of devotees and the sacred tirthas without disturbance. Srila Prabhupada's Disappearance Day festival was fast approaching, knowing that helped me move from bhajna to preaching. I had gone to Srila Prabhupada's room at the Radha Damodar temple several times to meditate on how Srila Prabhupada spent so much time there preparing for his journey to the West to introduce Krishna consciousness to the world. Sitting alone in his room, I came to understand that as his spiritual son, I have the responsibility to help him carry out his mission. No doubt my stay in Vrindavan has been beneficial. I gained a deeper appreciation for the holy name, a clearer understanding of the scripture, and as I thought about the matter more, I realized I have also gained a stronger desire to share that mercy with others. Based on that last consideration, it seemed appropriate to leave on the evening day before Srila Prabhupada's disappearance day. I went back to Radha Damodar temple one last time to write my offering to Prabhupada. In those sacred rooms where Srila Prabhupada often looked out into the temple courtyard, where at Srila Rupa's Goswami Samadhi for inspiration, I very much felt the presence and separation of my spiritual master. I wrote my offering in that mood and read it to his divine grace the next day in the assembly of many dear God brothers and God sisters at Krishna Balram temple. It felt like fitting conclusion to my Vrindavan pilgrimage. When I was finished, I turned my attention to my duties in the West. Here is my offering. Dearest Srila Prabhupada, please accept my most humble obeisances. All glories unto you on this auspicious day of your departure from this world. In August 1976, after visiting our temple in Paris, France, you expressed your satisfaction with your visit and said you look forward to coming back again the next year. We worked hard that coming year in the expectation of seeing your lotus feet again. In those days, with your annual visits and regular updates of your travels, we always remained absorbed in thoughts of you. Despite your busy schedule, you also remembered us, often writing and encouraging us in our devotional service to the Lord. When my Sankirtana party wrote to you asking if we could install and travel with Gauranitai deities, you responded that you felt such worship might interfere with our most important service of distribution your books. You recommended that we worship a picture of Panchatattva instead. You said that the members of the Panch Tattva are the proper deities of Kali Yuga because they are the most benevolent and merciful of all the Lord's incarnations. Following your instructions, we worshipped a picture of their Lordship with heart and soul. And as we did, our Sankirtana results increased as did our faith and attachment to you. Although you had thousands of followers and we were separated from you by thousands of miles, we felt, as did all your disciples, your immediate concern, care, and love for us. Anxious for your return to Paris, our anticipation of seeing you again increased as each day passed. Then in November came the unbelievable and unbearable news. You have performed your final pastime and left this world to rejoin your beloved Lord in the spiritual sky. Srila Prabhupada, on that day we were suddenly plunged into feelings of separation unlike anything we had ever experienced. In the initial stages of our devotional service, we came to know so many facets of spiritual life. One still unknown to us, however, was the pain of a separation we have had to endure until this day. Srila Prabhupada, Krishna sent Uddhava to Vrindavan to give his gopis hope. Please send me a sign that I will indeed, by faithful and loving service, be able to join you again in your pastimes sublime. I know that Vani is more important than Vapu, but if I can be assured that one day I will be with you again, I can take any risk in my preaching. I will know that even death itself, suffered in the line of duty, will serve my desire to bring me back to you. In 1971, I felt separation from you after your brief visit to our Detroit temple. I expressed those feelings in a letter to you. You kindly wrote back, "Yes, I am also feeling separation from my Guru Maharaj, but I always feel that he is watching over and protecting me. Please bless me with the same ability to see you constantly in my service to the Lord. The responsibilities you have entrusted to all of your followers are generally reserved for the Lord's most advanced devotees. We need your guidance and protection to be able to faithfully execute your orders and to spread your teachings throughout the world. No doubt your guidance and protection come in many ways. Often I see you in the mercy you bestow upon the devotees around me. As a single ray of light shining through a piece of crystal causes a rainbow of colors, so your mercy, reflected through the hearts of your followers, shines brilliantly in their service to you. It is by your decree that they offer their service, and just as one sees an artist personality in his work, so we can see you in your sincere followers' activities. Just behold your illustrious son, Radhanath Maharaj. His unique ability, inspired by you to uplift the hearts of thousands of souls who are spellbound by his lectures and kirtans, can best be appreciated when he comes to Vrindavan for Kartik. Buses and buses of devotees follow him throughout the dham as he introduces them to your dearest place of worship. No doubt we see you in Gopal Krishna Maharaj service. He reflects your heart's desire that everything be done big in Krishna consciousness. Following in your footsteps and empowered by your desire to see the movement always expand, he became the force behind the success of Glory of India Temple, which has risen from the dust of Delhi to to become a place of pilgrimage. And Loknath Maharaj is truly fulfilling Mahaprabhu's desire to see the holy names chanted in every town and village. How your chest must swell with pride when you point him out to your transcendental associates in the spiritual sky. Just see my spiritual son, you must say, the one with a bullock cart and performing kirtan. His service guarantees that he will come to live with me eternally. Look now, with eyes filled with love and appreciation, upon your spiritual daughter, Devi Shakti Dasi, who continues to serve you year after year in Sri Vrindavan Dham. She knows how dear your Krishna Balram temple is to you, and she faithfully carries out her duties here, much as she did when you were present. She would never leave your institution, Srila Prabhupada, having faith in your words that it is the self-same body she served personally in the days of her youth. Now just look to the left and see your stalwart sons, Brahmananda and Gargamuni, two of the first to receive your mercy. They know you well and continue to share you with all of us when we need you most, still speaking about you 24 years after your disappearance. The material energy has the ability to cause things to deteriorate with time. But the love and faith Brahmananda and Gargamuni have for you is so strong that it resists the forces of nature and allows you to stay ever fresh in their minds. Do you remember Dhananjay and Balagopala? Of course you do, for spiritual love transcends the ravages of time. They have also chosen to remain caretakers of this mandira, which is so dear to you, imbibing your desire to provide a place for your followers in the dham. They represent your concern that all of us become brijvasis in due course of time. And see the wandering mendicant Dinabandhu Prabhu. Following your personal example, he continues to take devotees on pilgrimage in this holy land. You are an eternal resident of this sacred abode, Srila Prabhupada, and we are in debt to your beloved son, Dinabandhu, for enlightening us about the glories of this most sacred Tirtha. He is helping us aspire to one day join you in your eternal pastimes here. Empowered by you, he speaks with the same affection you have for Sri Vrindavan Dham. No doubt you can see Keshav Bharti Prabhu, who has faithfully executed one of your last desires, to take darshan of Govardhan Hill. By developing and overseeing his project at the foot of Giri Govardhana, he has arranged for you to now sit peacefully in the temple room there, beckoning your followers to gradually develop a deeper understanding of a Lord. As sons and daughters inherit their parents' qualities, so these and many, many more disciples and grand disciples demonstrate that you are with us, watching over and protecting us in our devotional service. My humble prayer on this auspicious day is that you continue to give me your association and guidance through the mercy you bestow upon these loving and loyal followers until the day comes when I can again join you in your ISKCON in the spiritual sky. Until then, I remain your servant. Hare Krishna. Oh, Panjane Prabhu is not there.
Hi Krishna, Jyotsanaji. Thank you so much for
Thanks.
reading the chapter. Would anyone else like to volunteer for another chapter? The last one.
I can read it.
Aman Prabhu. Sorry. Devajit Prabhu, you are saying something?
Right. Aman Prabhu can go ahead.
Okay. So, Aman Prabhu, would you like to read?
Yes, yeah, Mataji, I would read.
Problem. Sure.
Volume 5, Chapter 1, Back on the Tour. On May 15, I flew from Los Angeles to Ukraine for Narasimha Dev Chaturdashi. I felt uplifted to be going back to Eastern Europe and to my responsibilities on the festival tour in Poland. But the 36-hour journey with connecting flights in Detroit, London, Warsaw, and Kiev left me reeling. Indeed, I was not ready for the young man who approached me at Kiev airport and began preaching to me in broken English about the second coming of Christ and the need for redemption. He ended by asking for a donation. I don't have any money on me, I told him with a smile, but I will be happy to share my own understanding of God with you. As we sat, I told him about the personal nature of Krishna and how we awaken our love for him by chanting his holy names. He listened attentively, and then he asked if he could give me a donation. I wanted a donation from you, he said, handing me some bills, but somehow I feel inspired to give you one. From Kiev, I caught a domestic flight to Dnipropetrovsk, where I was met by several devotees. At the local temple, I quickly showered and changed clothes. And then I went to a hall in the city for the first evening of the festival. Jet lag was setting in, and I nodded off on the way. But but I soon awoke to the roaring kirtan of 1,000 devotees gathered to greet me. During the next 3 days, we chanted and danced in great happiness. Even so, I missed the company of my god brothers. For years, I have attended festivals throughout the former Soviet Union, often in the association of thousands of devotees, but it was always with at least two or three god brothers like Bhakti Prem Govinda Maharaj, Niranjan Maharaj, or Purna Chandra Prabhu. I was always glad to be with them, as it takes immense spiritual energy to enliven thousands of devotees for days at a time. This time, I led most of the kirtans and gave all the classes. And because my own birthday had come, I was the focus of attention. So while speaking or leading kirtan, I often kept my eyes closed, something I rarely do. I wanted to envision my own spiritual master, the previous acharyas, and my closest god brothers, and to remember that by their mercy alone am I able to do anything in Krishna consciousness. Dasavat Sannata Sanataryan Grihi Pitravadinavatsala Bhretravatsadarse Snigdho Gurushva Ishwarabhanava. Two respectable persons, he, Prahlad Maharaj, acted exactly like a menial servant. To the poor, he was like a father. To his equals, he was attached like a sympathetic brother. And he considered his teachers, spiritual masters, and older god brothers to be as good as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Srimad Bhagavatam 7:432. Then I flew to Warsaw. The devotees wanted to greet me with the customary etiquette. But even as they were garlanding me, I was already asking about the preparation for the Festival of India. Half mindful of the pleasantries, I was wondering how things were progressing for the first festival of the season in Brodnica, just 2 days away. Nandini Dasi, however, could not wait to tell me about that day's filming of Harinam Party for a new movie by Jerzy Stur, one of Poland's best known movie producers. Star himself plays the lead, a man who joins the Hare Krishna movement after a life of struggle and spiritual searching. The final scene shows him shaved up in a dhoti and kurta, chanting with the devotees on the streets of Warsaw. Nandini told me how Sri Prahlad and a Kirtan party had met the film crew in the center of Warsaw that morning. When Star arrived, his makeup and wardrobe team were at a loss as to how to dress him for the scene and asked the devotees to help. So Jaitam Das shaved him up in the dressing room and helped him put on a dhoti and kurta as well as tilak and neck beads. As the kirtan started and the cameras rolled, a crowd gathered and many of the people recognized Sir. As per the script, he went into the crowd who were amazed to see him chanting and dancing with the devotees, and handed out invitations to the Sunday feast at the Warsaw Temple. The people were thrilled to accept flyers from the hands of one of Poland's highly visible media personalities. After the filming, Star joined the devotees and took prasadam. When Jaitam asked if he had met the devotees before, Star said he hadn't, but that he had been aware of them in Poland since his youth. He saw us he saw us as people who represent peace, happiness, and goodness in society. And he wanted to say in the movie that by following Vaishnava principles, people can live without hypocrisy and falsehood. Just then, the film's female lead joined them. Still aglow from the blissful kirtan, the final scene where the devotees are chanting is the best part of the movie. She told Star, without them, it would be empty. The film will be released in September and it's expected to be an enormous box office success, like all of Star's other works. Then we set off for our base north of Warsaw, a 2-hour drive. Nandini and Radha Sakhivinda briefed me on the Brodnica festival. Opposition to the event was building. Priests in the local schools were warning the children not to attend, and shop owners, fearful of reprisals by the church, had refused to let devotees put up festival posters in their shop windows. Jurek Osiak, the organizer of the annual Polish Woodstock Festival, every summer and, and an ardent supporter of our movement, inadvertently added to the attention in an interview in Poland's prestigious Politica magazine. Upset with the attitude of the Jesus people at last year's Woodstock, he said he was not inviting them this year. Then the interviewer asked him if the Hare Krishnas would be invited. Krishna, yes. Jesus, no. Jurek replied with a smile. Jurek Osiev is a devout Catholic. He is highly respected in Poland, and his words carry weight. But his acceptance and tolerance of other religions is not appreciated by some, and the magazine's use of the quote for the headline to its article attracted attention even in rural Brodnica. On the other hand, signs that our movement is gradually being accepted in Poland continue to manifest. As we headed north, Radha Sakivrinda received a call from the town secretary of Brodnica. A woman had just stormed into the mayor's office and demanded an explanation from the mayor himself. Why was a dangerous sect allowed to hold a festival in the very heart of the city? The mayor showed her our brochure on his desk. The Hare Krishna movement represents the culture of ancient India, he told her, and added that he was pleased to offer this to the people of Rodnica. Poland will soon be joining the European Union, he said, and it was time for Poles to open up to other cultures and traditions. The woman was flabbergasted. She turned and left without another word. It does seem that our struggle to push forward Krishna consciousness in Poland is beginning to bear fruit. And why not? Srila Prabhupada once said that the only thing that can stop this movement is internal difficulty, either our own material desires or conflict within. If we are strict with ourselves, always following the regulative principles and chanting our rounds, and if we maintain respectful and friendly relations with the devotees we serve alongside of, our movement will spread. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to preach the Sankirtan movement of love of Krishna throughout the entire world, and therefore during his presence he inspired the Sankirtan movement. Specifically, he sent Rupa Goswami to Vrindavan and Nityananda to Bengal, and personally went to South India. In this way, he kindly left the task of preaching his cult in the rest of the world to the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. The members, the members of the society must always remember that if they stick to the regulative principles and preach sincerely according to the instructions of the Acharyas, surely they will have the profound blessings of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and their preaching work will be successful everywhere throughout the world. Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela 7.171. There is, however, one stubborn factor that does hinder our festivals and make them messy affairs: rain. It poured buckets as we drove north, becoming heavier with each kilometer. It had been unseasonably cold and wet for 2 weeks in the region, definitely not the weather we wanted, as we rely heavily on a successful first festival. It sets a precedent for staging festivals in nearby towns. The mayor of Brodnica is sympathetic to our movement, and he had allotted the town's center square for the event. By giving you the best place in town, he said, I am sending a message to all the other towns in this region. If you are successful here, you will have no problem getting permission from other places. Nonetheless, if it rained, the show would not go on, despite any amount of preparation. As I looked to the skies, I couldn't help wondering whether the dark clouds could possibly dissipate within 48 hours. The next day, the temperature rose a few degrees and the rain lapsed into a drizzle. But on the morning of the festival, I was disappointed to find it was still drizzling. I put on my raincoat, covered my head, and went to the temple. During Srila Prabhupada's Guru Puja, all the devotees chanted and danced in hopes of a successful beginning to the tour. Suddenly, at the height of the kirtan, the clouds parted a little and sunlight came peeking in through the windows. I turned to Gaur Hari Das. It's a sign from the heavens, I said. Everything's going to be all right. By mid-morning, the tent crews were busy setting up the festival. Sri Prahlad and I took a Harinam party around town one more time, distributing what was left from the invitations given out over the previous few days, 20,000 all in all. Gradually, the skies cleared, and by afternoon it was a beautiful day. The crew finished setting up on time, just as the women were putting the final touches of color on the tents. At 4:30 p.m., our bhajan band began a soft kirtan on stage as all 120 devotees took their places in the shops, exhibits, restaurants, dressing rooms, and other areas. Now we would wait for our guests. It was an anxious moment. We had been working hard for 6 months, making arrangements, obtaining licenses, raising funds, and creating new exhibits. There wasn't any reason to think no one would come. They had been coming for 13 years, but this was the first festival of the year. The mayor's words kept running through my mind. If you are successful here, you will have no problem getting permission from other places. I waited on the edge of the stage, the very place where I had sat 9 months ago. When I watched thousands of people leave the final festival of last season, my heart was racing. Then they started to arrive, not just one or two at a time, but in big groups, pouring onto the festival grounds, smiling and laughing, ready for the show. The crowd soon swelled to more than 3,000, with many gathering in front of the stage. They wanted the music, the dance, the theater, the books, and the prasadam. I jumped down from the stage and began smiling through the crowd. I felt at home again, mingling with the people as they experienced the wonderful world of Krishna consciousness. There was no place on earth or in the heavens I would rather have been. I couldn't help smiling. This is only the beginning, I thought. There are 48 more festivals to come. No doubt the sun won't always be shining, and certainly our opposition have their plans. But with more but with more than 9,000 people coming to the 3-day event in Rodnica, we had achieved the auspicious beginning that the mayor and all of us had hoped for. The great festival of the holy names had begun in Poland. Akhila Bhuvan Bandho Prem Sindhu Jane Asmin Sakala Kapat Punya Jnanhine Prapanne Tav Charan Soroje Dehi Dasyam Prabhu Tvam Patita Tarana Nam Pradur Asityataste. O friend of all the world, O ocean of love, the populace has become full of deceit and bereft of knowledge. O my master, kindly give them shelter at your lotus feet, for the holy name, uplifter of the fallen, has become manifest from you. Sarvam Bhattacharya, Sri Gaurang Mahima Amrita. Sushlok Shatakam, text 21.
Right. Thank you so much, Aman Praji. Now I would request devotees to please share their realizations of for the today's reading. There were 3 chapters. So if anyone wanna share their realizations. Hi Krishna. Yes, please. Tadya Seva Prabhu, please.
Gurudev said 3 things on why we will not be able to preach, or we will not be able to actively help spread the Krishna conscious movement. I'm also contemplating on my own difficulties. And I fully agree with him. He said 3 things we can do which will help overcome the difficulties. The first one is our sadhana. Second one is following the regulative principles. And then the third one is giving respect to other devotees who are spreading the Krishna consciousness movement. And by doing these 3 things, Srila Gurudev said, we will be able to help spread the Krishna consciousness movement all over the world. I fully agree with these 3 statement, 3 ideas. Hare Krishna.
Jai. Thank you, Tadya Seva Prabhu. Yes, this is so wonderfully explained by Srila Gurudev. And again, this is ultimately our our goal to actually achieve these three things in our life. Thank you, Prabhu. Ashish Prabhu, I saw your hand also earlier. Would you like to share?
Hare Krishna, Ram. So yeah, the the more we read Gurudev's chapters, they mostly talk about the all the difficulties which Gurudeva has faced throughout the years on different places. So one thing I want to just share. So today we approached the Brahmachari ashram in our local temple to pray for Gurudev. We haven't disclosed it in front of all those hundreds of devotees, but we just keep it inside, and prayer is also effective. So we just made it to Brahmachari ashram. So one thing I realized and which I heard from everybody is, and most of them they have read the chapters of Gurudev. Many diaries I think they have read. Those whoever is in preaching mission, so like aspire Gurudev. So there one sentence was that he'll come out of it. He'll come out of it. So they had this conviction by looking at him in so many years and reading his diary chapters. So everybody was sure that he'll come out of it, and so like he was before. So it is coming from his sadhana and his nishtha in his guru, Srila Prabhupada. The same thing I desire to develop those qualities, at least 1% of it, a drop of it, so that my life is successful and I can make someone else's life successful. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Ashish Prabhu. Yes, just wanted to add here my realization of today. Actually, wherever I was going due to my temple's service, local temple service. So whenever like I was paying obeisances in front of the deities, so as we all like start from Srila Gurudev first, and then Prabhupada, and then the deities. So when I was just doing the pranam mantra of Srila Gurudev, so one thing which like totally struck me, like Narsinghe Dakshitai Namaha. So and when I was in front of like Narsimhadev's lamination, I was just saying that um not actually saying, but little meditating on that point, that um this pranam mantra given by um the authorities, Shri Prabhupada and GBC members. So this is actually there. And whenever like reading Shla Gurudev's diary chapters, we are always hearing or reading that Shla Gurudev somehow or ever, whenever he is in the hard times or he's facing something, so he always prays to Narsimhadev. And just like Narsimhadev protects each and every devotee who is, praying wholeheartedly to him. Narsimhadev always protects Srila Gurudev, our Srila Gurudev. And today itself, I, with the help of God family, or we were, in the morning, by the help of His Grace Haridas Varya Prabhu, when we were doing Narsimha Kavacha. So I was just thinking that it's not only that Srila Gurudev is there in hard times, but actually it, as said by Vijay Narasimha Prabhu, it's a kind of um, a hard chapter for us, for all the disciples, for all the God family to actually see whenever in the hard times or in the good times, always remember um, the strongest, Narsimhadev, our deities, our home deities, and to always pray in front of them for everything. Even if, like, now Shri Gurudev is detained, now he's out from the danger, but then when Haridas Varya Prabhu said that now it is also our duty to go in front of our altar to our deities and say thanks to them, because ultimately they did what they wanted to actually. So everything depends on the prayers. That is what I realized today. And um, God actually helps to their devotees. Yes, Shivani Maji, please.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you for your realization. When I somehow feel that Guru does this Leela to make their disciples serious. This is, I think, this is something which I feel personally, because nothing can happen to the Guru, right? He's the transcendental personality, and someone whose pranam mantra is where it's written that Narasimha Dev will protect him. So I was actually not bewildered, and throughout the day we were all just praying, and by reading these diary chapters, it just makes me more stronger, and it just makes my faith more, it just gives me more strength to believe and to serve more and more. Just this thing which hit me hard very today was like, okay, I deep down I knew that nothing is gonna happen, or these things won't affect, but I just knew somewhere that Gurudev is, telling all of us to be more serious for him, because it's very hard for him. He's already, he's 76, and then him to sit like that in a cell or something like that, that was very, it was giving a lot of pain, but somehow I knew that things will happen. And yeah, this is what I want to share.
Right. Thank you, Shivani Madhavi. Yadaigo and Praji, please. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Am I audible?
Yes, Praji.
Please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada, all goes to Srila Gurudev. Although I joined a bit late today, I had to attend to some work, which I completely forgot throughout the day because of the things that were going on. And then my mother reminded that you had to go out and do some stuff. So then I had to step out. And I just came now and I joined the call 10 minutes ago. Yes, I completely agree with what just now Shivani Mataji mentioned, that Gurudev lovingly wants us to increase our sadhana. So what realization I was having today when I was chanting rounds for Shri Gurudev is, 1 minute. See, just like for the exam, who can score good marks in exam? Because the one who studies throughout the year sincerely, or the one who studies one night before the exam, out of the two, who can score better marks in the exam? Yes, yes, your Prabhu.
One who does study all through the year.
Yes, exactly. So sometimes what happens is that we become slack in our sadhana. There are many things for which Shri Gurudev, a guru basically takes responsibility for his disciple. I remember Srila Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, when his health condition deteriorated, he said, he openly said to his disciple, I am in this condition because of my disciples, because you all took the initiation from me and you don't follow the rules and you don't follow the vows. And if we do such things, then Guru faces such obstacles. Even Srila Gurudev also has a lot of health conditions to deal with. So the point I'm trying to make is, I think all of us must have chanted today with utmost sincerity and in a prayerful mood. Let this not be a thing that should happen occasionally. Actually, maybe this pastime was conducted to show that this is how you should chant on daily basis, crying out for Krishna for help, because we are in a helpless condition. Like when Uttara was shot by arrows by Ashwatthama, she said, Krishna, Krishna, Mahabaho. Like she ran to Krishna saying, who else other than you can save me? So that should be our prayerful mood daily, that we are completely surrendered to our Guru Gauranga, and it's not a 1 day thing or 2 day thing that, okay, whenever something happens with Gurudev, then only we'll chant, uh, sincerely, then we'll chant attentively. No, if you chant attentively, sincerely, such things will never even occur to Gurudev. Such things will never even happen to Gurudev. Somehow, somewhere we should also, a Guru, like Gurudev has thousands of disciples, close to, I think close to 9,000, 10,000. So I don't know. Consider that he's alone and there are so many aspiring and so many other duties he's doing. So many, and he's 76. He's carrying, it's practically, imagine a picture of him standing and we all sitting on his back, all thousands of disciples sitting on his back. And consider that burden. Just imagine in your mind, through the vision of your eyes, that he is standing and thousands of his disciples are on his back. And if we don't do our sadhana, it's like jumping on him and increasing his load. He's happily doing that. But if a disciple is mature enough and he becomes sincere enough, then he can offload some of the weight. He can take over the weight of Srila Gurudev is carrying on his shoulders. That's the real service to Guru. Yes, we are very happy to Srila Gurudev, and whenever he's near, we chant Jai Srila Gurudev. We want his Maha, we want to garland him, we want to do this and that. That's okay, that's fine. But as a sincere disciple, one should always think that one should always meditate on how I can offload some of his burden that he's carrying on his shoulders for so many years. And the simplest thing one can do is at least reduce his own burden on Srila Gurudev by sincerely chanting, doing all these services nicely, becoming mature, and helping um, other God family members. So consider today's day as a thing that carry this mood, try to carry this mood of chanting, carry this mood of helplessness throughout the year. And this is not for you, this is just for me. I'm just telling myself that today I chanted sincerely, because what if I chant daily like this? How much pressure, how much uh, advancement I can make, and then help Srila, and then I can really help Srila Guru. Gurudev is, a guru is not happy that disciple is doing his foot bathing and disciple is garlanding him. That's not what Guru wants. Guru wants how you can take over this mission, take this mission to the next level. That's what Guru wants. भारत भूमि तो जन्म होइले जार जन्म सार्थक करी कर पर उपकार. First, we have to be sincere ourselves, and then we can only do something good for the movement. We shouldn't think that, oh, I will build a big temple for good. No, I mean, we should have that thought somehow, but start from small by doing yourself, your sadhana good sadhana, and then things will manifest automatically. Things will work out automatically. We shouldn't be a burden on our Guru Maharaj. We should be trying to take off his load. He's 76. He has some plans, and those plans, Krishna can make us medium. He's ready to make us medium if we show little sincerity, and he's ready to give us the keys to the storehouse. But if we are not sincere, then no one will give us the keys to the storehouse. So that's my small realization, that carry this mood on a daily basis. It shouldn't be a one-off thing. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Agadhago and Prezi. And this was really wonderful, and a lot of learnings are there. Thank you. Anyone else would like to add, or should we wind up here? Or do anyone want to share any realization regarding today's experience? I feel it's all new for us.
Gopi Malla Mataji, can I share a verse from Guru Puja, which I was lamenting, which I was thinking a lot today?
Yes, Manisha.
It goes like Chakshudan dilo jai janme janme Prabhu say Divya Gyan Hriday Prakashito. So it's like my Guru opens my darkened eyes and fulfills my heart with transcendental knowledge. He is my Lord, birth after birth. So I was just thinking a lot on this, that, Chakshudan Dilajai, how he opens my eyes when I am just sitting in the dark room. So this is what I was thinking. Just like Prabhuji said, that we should not be too much, into showing others, or we should not be too much into happiness, that okay, Gurudev will be happy more into if I bathe his feet or something like that. I'm really thankful to Girdhari Govind Prabhuji for adding his realization, which really made me realize a lot of points. So thank you, Prabhuji.
Yes, Dan. Thank you, Shivani. Definitely. Prabhuji's realization is a deeply learning factors for us too. Okay. So I feel there is no one else who wants to share anything. So let's just wind up. Thank you everyone for joining. Vancha kalpa
Kalpatarubhyascha kripasindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo namo
namo
namo.
namo.
Manasakoti Vaishnavrind ki jai, Shri ki jai, Shri Gurudev ki jai. Thank you, devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.